So offers prior to auction. So I kind of hinted that. Be ready for campaigns to be brought forward at any moment, right? And be prepared that there's plenty of buyers for the agent to be excited about. So you may or may not get a call. And buyers are willing to make strong offers early. So an agent might think, well, someone's taken a big swing here. This might be the best offer I get. Therefore, I'm not going to run the campaign through. I'm actually going to bring it forward. So these are some of the things that are going on. Boardroom auctions, Ben. Boardroom auctions aren't as well known. And so therefore the unknown creates uncertainty, and the uncertainty really creates a bit of anxiety. But basically it could take a whole range, right? So I've been in boardroom auctions where we've all been called forward. It's a Thursday night. The auction was meant to be that Saturday. Someone puts in an offer that's acceptable to the vendor. They make that known. And then all of a sudden it just becomes an exercise of, let's do it. We're going to wrap it up. And then they want to keep that competitive tension, just bring the date forward. So I've been in ones where they've had all the buyers in the office. It's like 8:00 at night. One buying group is in separate offices. They're not visible to each other. And then they just pass the book around and say, let us know if you're staying in. And they just cut laps and cut circles until everyone pulls out and there's one person standing there. So that's one way that you'll see it. Another one is you're packed into a tight little boardroom where everyone is nervous. The energy, like you can feel ice running through your veins. Non-professional buyers find that very, very intimidating. So you might find yourself in this scenario. And so you need to be aware of what it looks like, what the rules of the game are. But ultimately, it's been called because there's been an offer that's acceptable. They will take that offer unless the competitive bidding pushes it up. And then you're basically into an auction scenario again. And then the last thing to just remind folks here is the auctioneer calls the shots with the increments. I've been a smart ass once or twice in an auction that's backfired on me, Ben. I've got a very deliberate strategy at auction. But I play as close as I can to the line of being able to control the auction from the point of view of bringing the advantage back to me as the buyer. But never, ever do I lose sight of the fact that the auctioneer is in control of that. And if I annoy them, they're going to do whatever it takes for me not to buy it. So just being mindful that the auctioneer calls the shot with increments. So your art is to slow it down and make them as small as possible. Their art is to speed it up and make them as large as possible. So just be aware of that competitive tension. But do not step on that person's ego. That will bite you in the bum.
No, and we've talked about auction strategies and all that before in previous podcasts over the 6 years, and we encourage you to go to the thepropertycouch.com.au and just search for auction, auction negotiations, auction bidding, those type of things. There's several podcasts that we've done on that before because one, we'll talk about body language and those other things. But Bryce, the new one, the COVID new norm is Zoom auctions. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I love them. It could be Zoom, could be any of the online platforms. But again, it creates uncertainty for people who what's going on? Where's that bid come from? But I guess what I do want to say about Zoom is you got to bring your game. Like, do you know when you're at an auction, Ben, and you're bidding, you've positioned yourself correctly. But sometimes there's the person who's bidding and you have to look around the corner and who is it? And you can't see their body language and who they are. And on Zoom, you don't even have to move your head. You just got to move your eyes. You can see, and then they put it on mute and you can see them talking between themselves. And so it's important that we're aware that body language is still important and it's probably more important in that environment. So whatever environment you find yourself in online, because it's now the new norm, just be aware that a little bit of prep, got to be confident. You got to know what you're looking for. You got to see the body language signals that the other person's reached their upper limit. All of that stuff matters to help you put yourself in the box seat. Just reminding everyone, the goal is actually to secure it. Scare off some of the competition, have some clear air. So that's not lose sight of what the game is here.